Thank you. That was my presentation. Always get the applause at the end, but it's good to have applause at the beginning. I want to start off by 1 minute of meditation. You can all close your eyes, and I will have 1 minute in which you count your thoughts. And when you start thinking, what's a thought? Is this a thought? That's a thought. Okay, so we can all close our eyes, and then we start now. Okay, you can open your eyes. Who of you had 0 thoughts? Nobody? Who of you had 10 thoughts or less? Oh, wow. It's like the Zen group. Between 10 and 40. 40 or more? Wow, only 1 person. Okay, so we have this highly involved group of people sitting here. On the average, we have like 50 thoughts a minute. So you are all very calm. And I saw some people smirking a bit, so I thought people were having funny thoughts also. Okay, we'll do another 1 minute in which we do not count our thoughts, but concentrate on how we feel. And just register your body, feel if there's any tension in your feet, your legs, your back, your neck. Yeah? We start now. You can open your eyes again. Does anybody have some tension in their neck or back or lower back, shoulders area? Some people have, yeah. Also related to work and sitting behind the computer or stress. Yeah, some of you have. Okay, so we'll start the presentation today with a little bit of warming up because we're going to talk about flexibility. And I'm going to talk primarily about mindset, but we all have a body. So we'll all stand up. because I have this sign when I raise my hand. When you see me raising my hand, I want you to copy my movements. So also raise your hand, and that's a sign of silence. So when I ask you a question, then I don't have to shout above the group. But first, we're gonna roll our shoulders a bit. It's very nice and gezellig here. And we'll roll our neck. And then hang forward and this is just to get a bit loose. And next thing is you grab the hands of the person standing next to you and you shake them up. And it's one by one, yeah. So you can ontspannen, you can relax. Ja, dus dat is wel vet. Perfect. Okay, we can sit down again. So before I'll start introducing myself, I just want to know a little bit more about you. So I have a few questions, and if you confirm the question with yes, you stand up. So also for you to get to know each other a little bit more. So the first question is, who knows me? Oh, cool. That's only 4 people. Second question is, who read my book? So if there's any questions about my book, you can ask her. You're gonna have a busy oh yeah, who of you is working in the creative industry? Yeah. And who of you uses creativity in your work? Almost everybody. Okay, who of you is self-employed? Oh, self-employed? Who of you want to be self-employed? Also interesting. Oh yeah, who does a job which he studied for? Okay, so that's and who of you is single? Take a good look around. Never early to start. Okay, great. Okay, so now a little bit about me. I will introduce myself because most of you, only 4 people know me, so that's not a lot. I wrote this book here. It's here about flexdenken, and I give lectures and inspirational sessions on the topic. I mainly speak in Dutch, or to be honest, I exclusively speak in Dutch. This is my first English lecture, this year. So, which is nice because it's a challenge for me, and I want to step up and move towards the international market. But now I'm experienced in my own language, Dutch language, and English. I need to develop a bit more. So I had this problem when I started thinking about this presentation and what I wanted to address. I was practicing this week, and I thought, do I sound dumb? I really do sound really dumb in English. I mean, I have this great vocabulary in my own language, and I established this. The people that know me can maybe confirm this really intelligent and wise person in Dutch, talking with great intellectual vocabulary, and suddenly I have to switch to another language. So that was interesting. So then I thought, okay, I need to help myself a little bit and not start stuttering the whole time. So I made my presentation really dummy proof, or maybe even toddler proof, because I'm going to talk a lot about eating and shitting. So it's going to be about food and poop, which is very easy and concrete and very simple to grasp. As you can see, I have here this great presentation. I have a message, I have a mantra, and I have 5 insights. And they're all about work. I use this précis all the time in my lectures in Dutch and my inspirational sessions. And it has about 50 slides. I'm going to address maybe 5 or maybe none. 5 of them. It's his computer. So this will maybe happen again. I will sometimes touch this computer to make sure.
Yeah, keep it alive.
So I use this phrase for my own lectures and sessions in Dutch, and for me it's a kind of my structure and my support. So I wanted to have it, even if I do not address it that much. I used the same structure or the same division that I made for my book. And as you can see, it's like 2 sections. There's a stabiliteitsperk and a flexibiliteitsperk, which refers to the era of things being secure and stable and predictable, and the era in which we are now, in which everything is constantly moving and flex. And this Creative Mornings is about work. And for this lecture, I had some new reflections upon work, because I wanted to share my insight and the things that help me to give you, hopefully, a bit of an interesting morning. So I also have this division here. So this is stabiliteitsperk, and this is flexibiliteitsperk. And this is the message I want to bring to you. It will be very clear in 20 minutes. So the first, okay, so my message is you want to create a tasty meal instead of producing a lot of shit. Yeah. Okay, then we have a mantra. The mantra for this creating a tasty meal is you eat, you poop, you eat, you poop, you eat, you poop, you eat, you poop, you die. The mantra that we kind of grew up with, and I will clarify myself later on, is you eat, you poop, 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 and then you retire. So we're going to shift, I hope, from this to this by using my 5 insights. And I'm going to start now with find versus create. So we have this idea of work, and I use this always in my lectures to introduce myself. And as you can see, I have this article that I found, which I thought was really funny in the newspaper. I studied art academy, philosophy, and communication. At number 1, worst income studies art academy. Number 5. Highest unemployment communication. Philosophy is not in there, but it definitely belongs in the top 3 of both, I think. So, what I discovered, I mean, when I finished Art Academy, it was 5 years ago, I was also looking for a job. Because a job is something you look for and you find, and then you support yourself in your living. But there was no job for me. There was just not a job. Because I was overqualified to do like secretarial things, and I was, well, there's no job in art. They're like projects and assignments, but not really a job. So I was kind of forced to create my own job. And that's what I also did. And I've been creating my own job for the last 5 years. And I have a job. So I kind of succeeded in that. And that's what I discovered, like, work is not primarily something you find, it's something you can create. And it's something we all create. That was insight number 1. So if we reflect upon it in a food poop kind of way, how do we reflect upon that? here, what I mean with this eat, it's school. It's you grow up and you want to consume as much knowledge as you can, and have good papers, and then you can use that knowledge to poop the rest of your life, maybe even within one company. I mean, we are like a primarily younger generation. We're not really brought up that way to only work for one company, but that's like the old system. When you create your own job, it's not something. It's not like you learn and then you work. It's like you constantly learn and work. So you're all the time eating new knowledge and all the time developing yourself and all the time exploring new possibilities. So these are like clients that just to show off normally, to give me some authority. Then the book. I wrote the book a year ago. It took me about 2 years, I think, to write it. It was a lot of work. I also illustrated myself, which brings me to my second insight about work. It's good to be versatile. But instead, especially when I started out as an entrepreneur, as they call it in English, as zelfstandige, everybody was trying to teach me to be selective, to focus, and to choose, and to only do one thing. And I thought it was interesting that also that everybody gave me that advice, which I didn't really listen to. But because I thought it was interesting to develop versatile skills. And when writing the book, I think I could only manage to produce this type of book because I explored different type of skills and not just focus on one skill. So I had this background in philosophy, in which I used to do some analytical research and also write down a theory. I had this creative background, so I could make it fun and not boring, the book, in writing. I could do my own illustration work, so I had a view of how I wanted it to look visually. And next to that, I developed, of course, a lot of entrepreneurial skills in the past 5 years, so I knew how to kind of market it. So I was very fortunate to have this versatile background. And also, so when you compare it again to the mantra, here it's like you pick only one type of food that you eat all the time and then you produce a lot of the same shit. And here, you want to have a versatile meal, which we all know is very healthy for your body. And it's more fun because it tastes better to have a different type of food all the time. So it's good to be versatile. If it fits you, huh? I mean, it can also be good to be an expert. I'm kind of exaggerating this whole thing just to make a point. This is just about me with the website and the social media accounts if you want to connect with me or read more in Dutch. I write my blogs in Dutch, but maybe I will start writing in English. This is a good motivation. Okay, so we move on to the mind, to what I the presentation. For the next, the third insight, I want to start with a question. If you already know the question or know the answer for the question, I ask you to remain a bit quiet so the process can. Yeah, it's about. This is what I use. It's a question I use all the time. It's to make visible or to make clear how we are brought up to think. And the question is, what's the capital of Norwegian? And give the wrong answer. And you can all give wrong answers to me. No. Rome, Amsterdam, London, Moscow, Utrecht, Maarten. More wrong questions. Stockholm, what? Een hond. Bergen. You said a hond? A dog? A dog. Can we give more wrong questions?
Please.
Answers. Sorry.
-1.
-1, etc. Yeah. So this question is really interesting because what happens when somebody gives the answer dog?
You get confused?
You get confused, or you think So it's nice. It's an interesting question because it really clarifies the way we are conditioned, and it brings me to my and it's always the same in every group. So they start with the capitals nearby, then Europe, then we fly out to other continents, and then small villages, and then somebody gives the. It brings me to my third insight, and that one is about responsibility. So if you look at our school system and the way we are brought up, and that's why everybody gives the same wrong answers, because we download this topography lesson that we had somewhere in the back of our minds, is that we're taught to listen or to follow and to copy. Because we're always taught to give a right answer, which is most of the time only one answer, so there's one good answer, and we all give the same right answer. And in return, of course, this is all very exaggerated again, because it's not an evil system or anything, but in return, in return for being like braaf, how do you say braaf in English? Yeah, good, yeah. Like, you get offered security. You get offered security by getting a diploma, and then if you get a diploma, you will get a job, and if you get a job, you will get an income, and if you get an income, you will get a house, and if you get a house, and you have all these social security system benefits, etc. So it's a system that kind of creates this mentality of being braaf or being good and following, and also, well, not really depicts the differences between people and the differences in qualities of thinking. And creativity is a lot more about, stepping out of the box and following your own strange kind of associations instead of producing the same kind of insights all over again. And also by this system, because we also get kind of addicted to this security, because we get scared when we don't have the security. But what I discovered, and I think a lot of my discovery I did this year after publishing the book, is that I am responsible. There's nobody who's going to sell my book for me or create my work for me. I have to do it myself. So you have to, or no, you don't have to, but if you look at work from a creative point of view, you take your own responsibility. And that's something I think is very interesting that has never been taught to me, at least in art school. Maybe Sari can confirm. She was with me not the whole time, but at least 2 years in art school. You're actually being taught in art school that you cannot make a living. That's the message. And I mean, a lot of you are in the creative industry, and you probably have received a lot of warnings when choosing to do a creative study or making a move towards a creative living, like, oh my god, kan je daarvan leven? Or you cannot live from it, and it's all very dangerous. But it's not, because if you are creative, you're also creative in organizing your own life. So you can use your creativity to create the type of life you want. And I think that's kind of a step they don't make in art school. Maybe they do now, but when I was there, they didn't yet. I just have to check the time. Oh yeah. So if you're gonna translate that to eating and shitting, what does that mean? You're responsible for your own poop. No, you're responsible for what you eat mainly. Yeah. And you can choose what you want. What you want to eat, what you want to insert in your life. Okay, so yeah, so use this pricing. I forget about the pricing now because I have this. Also to clarify, because this is the stability tijdperk, also the bakstenen tijdperk in which your mortgage grows and you have all the securities. So we have all the system and all the structures in the system that provides you security, right? So the system is responsible. If you behave well, you will be offered security. But a lot of these structures are now collapsing or not longer working. So there's this person who's like, ooh, what's happening with the structures? And you end up in this flexibility tijdperk, in this ocean of the unknown, maybe, or the ocean of constant change, in which you have to swim, or in which you have to probably also take more responsibility, personal responsibility. Otherwise, there it is, you die. Also very exaggerated. So there's more poop here. Different type of poop, which we're gonna address now. With the following question, you can discuss it with each other. I'll take a few minutes. And that's the question, like when do you feel creative? When do you have a lot of ideas? What are the circumstances that help you feel creative, that bring out the best in you? And you can discuss it with your neighbor or in a small group, or just reflect upon it yourself, what you want. So, anybody wants to share what they
shower?
In the shower?
When I want something badly, then I have to get the ideas to get it done.
Okay, so like an urge.
Pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, pressure. Yeah.
Actually, the opposite. When I'm relaxed and I think about something, how can I do this in a different way? And when I'm just exploring things.
Yeah.
While walking.
Walking.
In nature or town, just.
Yeah.
Cycling from A to B.
Yeah.
Cycling from A to B.
Yeah.
Well, thinking about other things sometimes.
Yeah.
Meeting new people.
Meeting new people. Yeah. So there's this how do you say tweeledig? Double, yeah. Most people give the same feedback, in which like one part of creativity has to do with taking a shower right before sleeping, when I wake up, when I move from A to B, busy or occupied with something else. Suddenly the ideas, it's like you have the space for the ideas to arise. And on the other hand, you need kind of a pressure or urge, and also mingling with people, of course, also gives a certain tension in which you force maybe ideas to come up. And I'm very interested in creativity. I did a lot of workshops in creative thinking. I also developed this theory of flexdenken based on the things I addressed in creative thinking. And creativity is actually one of the main areas in my book, or the most important thing, I guess, for being flexible. Because if you're creative, you can always find a solution. So you can always be flexible. And I compare the creativity, or actually the way our mind works, with our digestion system. So this is, because I talked about the stability tijdperk, right, and the flexibility tijdperk, and we are brought up with a certain type of thinking that is really from this stability tijdperk and from our ideas on how the world works, but also ideas on how we work as an organism, so how our mind works. And in this flexibiliteitswerk, some of it is very usable, but some of it isn't, or less usable. So I put this different type of view upon what is thinking or how you can use your mind. So here, this is really like a heritage of Descartes, and oh, now I'm gonna sound interesting, but I have this whole philosophical mini background in the book. But the idea is like you control your mind, so you focus and control, and then you control what you think and what you want and what you do and how you behave. But a lot of research, psychological research, shows that what we control, or what you can call consciousness, is only 2% of our whole operation. So it's really, really tiny part. So I thought, well, maybe it's an interesting thing to compare it with our digestion system, because we are all occupied at the moment with producing some poop. Yeah? But nobody's really concentrated on producing their poop. It just happens. But you need to put something in order to get some poop. But then when you've put something in, you're just gonna relax, do other things, and then suddenly, ooh, hey, I need to poop. And it's really effortless. And what I think is very fascinating about it, I mean, of course it's very fascinating, this body is very fascinating, but also the relationship we have with our digestion system, which is a relationship of trust. Because we trust our digestion system to operate for us. When we look at our minds, we do the exact opposite. We do not trust our mind. We constantly want to control it and shift focus and try to regulate the way we think. Instead of, just relaxing from time to time and let the mind work for itself. And this is very effective because it's also effortless. Because you have this whole capacity of 89% in which a lot of things happen, which you cannot grasp consciously. And that's related to this moment of taking a shower or being on the bike or walking outside, like boom, suddenly you have like an insight and things start to fall together like in a puzzle. But it's I guess the challenge is because we are brought up thinking we are this, we have it's difficult to trust our own capacity and to give ourselves a break in a way. And that's why we also have a lot of tension in our bodies most of the time, because we want to exert a lot of control over ourselves. And a lot of the time it's not very necessary. So that's my fourth insight. Instead of concentrating on what goes out, so the productivity, like I need to have ideas, or I need to be productive, and we just sit behind the desk not being very productive, because after 4 hours you're definitely not going to be very productive and in the same seat behind the same computer. But we have this this urge to control and to concentrate on this output. Whereas I thought, or what I discovered, is it's more effective and also way more relaxed to focus more on what goes in. So on your meal, and then trust the output. Because if you if you surround yourself, this is a great word book, the living dictionary, the Google Translate live. Yeah, because if you surround yourself with interesting things happen, but also from a more professional point of view, if you surround yourself with people that you can learn from, or with if you read interesting books, you're going to write a more interesting book, etc. It all works. It's all very connected to what you surround yourself with and what you put in, and then you can trust yourself in getting a good output. Okay, we're on schedule. So this brings me already to my last insight. Which I also think is interesting, that in this stabiliteitswerk point of view, a job is something you need. So we have this whole system in which you're actually brought up with a certain type of fear. When not having a job, you die. Like you need to work, you need to make money. So you need all this productivity, because productivity is good. But we do not really know half of the time why we produce and what we produce for, because we produce really a lot, which is not necessarily so good for us, the planet, etc. I mean, we just have a lot of energy, we want to do something with the energy, but we don't have to be like this amazing productivity machines. Maybe in a different era, but what you see now with also this whole robotics movement, that a lot of this shit is going to be done by robots. So you don't, so you shouldn't hang on this shit anymore and start to look at work more from what do I want to do. And which is also more of a faith relationship instead of fear-based. And I do want to make a notification when you work or you do a job or you what you want or what you like or what you love. I don't believe that it's going to be like an immense heaven of great, super cool life. No, your work's your passion. I don't think it works. For me, it doesn't work that way, because work is tough and you have challenges and it's not all the time fun. And it's not about being fun, it's about developing yourself and growing and just, how do you say, well, living up to the best result you can be as a person. But not about, it's not a justification when you work, when your passion is your work, it's not let me put it this way. Results shouldn't immediately follow because you have something you're passionate about. That's also something I didn't put it here. Maybe it's an interesting sixth insight. I mean, I put a lot of work in my book, but because I put a lot of work in it and I was very passionate about it, doesn't mean I immediately have the results or have a right to have the results. It doesn't work that way. And that's actually, I guess, more this type of thinking, like, well, and this is also, everything is very result orientated. So when you put in a lot of work, a lot of effort, and you're passionate, you expect the results, and you can get disappointed when you don't get the results. And you can blame everybody around you for not having the results. But the only solution lays within yourself to also take the responsibility for the results. Yeah.
Imagine living in a world where everything that had to be created had to have a result. There's lots of things that we enjoy and that we appreciate and we've learned from, maybe a century after they were created, that if it had all been about the result, where would we be?
Yeah, because life doesn't have a result.
Yeah.
And the creativity is life force. But it's there because it's there, and it's not there for a reason or to end up somewhere. It doesn't have a...
Butterflies don't make a profit.
Yeah, but even profits don't have... I mean, when you have a profit, you still have to... and then...
Exactly.
Of course you need some profit, but I mean, it's not...
you spend the profit, you know, it's finite. It's not... it's not...
Yeah, there's this interesting... this little anecdote about... I think a Mexican fisherman and an American entrepreneur or something. They meet at the shore, and this fisherman comes back from a day fishing, and he just brought enough fish for his family and some friends. And this entrepreneur said, like, wow, but there's a lot more fish in the sea, and why do you not, fish more out of the sea? And then he started to have this whole talk about okay, so then, so the Mexican is asking, okay, but I have enough fish for now, I can go back tomorrow and fish more. No, but you need more fish, and then when you have fish, you can build a factory, and then when you have factory, you can sell the factory, and then you have a lot of money, and then the fisherman asks, like, and then you can go out fishing on a beautiful day. And this really makes or clarifies maybe the sort of missing link. Like, okay, it's good to be result orientated, but it's good to be result orientated because you wanna move ahead, not because it's like an end goal. There's no end goal to life. It's just constant movement. So, but I want to close off with with this. do have a little time for some questions, right? Yeah. Thanks for listening.